In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my warm-up, which consists of controlled articular rotations, which mobilizes all of my joints. I like to first mobilize my joints and get them moving before I condition and work my muscles. This way I can increase my range of motion and prevent injuries. I do these exercises every single time that I do my training. So follow along and let's get started. Starting with the neck. I'm going to take my chin down to my chest and slowly rotate my chin over to my shoulder so I'm looking straight down the side of my arm, and then rotate my head so that my ear is to my shoulder, actively pressing both shoulders down, and then circle to the back, lifting from the crown of the head toward the ceiling and over to the other side, ear to shoulder. Then rotate so nose to shoulder, and rotate the chin down to my chest. So I'm moving very slowly, making sure I get the full range of motion. Immediately go over to the other side and ear to shoulder. Take it all the way around to the back, other ear to shoulder, and nose to shoulder, and chin down to the chest. And one more time to each side. Over. I'm deliberately moving very slowly so I get a nice stretch and I get my full range of motion. And when I take it to the back, I'm not crunching my neck, I'm making sure to lift from the crown of the head. So I want to lengthen out and over to the other side. And down and up. Next, I warm up my shoulder joints. I bring my shoulders forward, up, back, and down, drawing a big circle, keeping my palms down by my side, keeping my hands where they are, and reverse, back, up, forward, and down, still keeping my palms glued to my sides, and back, up, forward, and down. Then I take my arms forward, palms facing in, shoulders rotate again. So I'm circling my scapula, my shoulder blades, around, and back to front, back to front. Nice and big and slow. Now I'll take my arms up overhead, and again circle. And circle, and circle, actively moving my shoulder blades, and around, and around, and around. Now opening my arms up and out in a T position, circle, up, back and around, up, back and around, up, back and around, keeping my palms where they are in the air, back to front, and back to front. And this is specific, moving from the shoulder blades. And forward, forward, forward. Just moving the shoulder blades and not the arms. Okay. Now rotate my arms, holding one arm across my rib cages, holding my torso in place. I take one arm across the front, as far as it can go. Bring it up overhead. Take it behind me as far as I can go without letting my rib cages pop. That's why I'm holding onto my rib cages. And then when I can't go any further, I flip my palm back and then take my arm all the way down and back. Nice and slow, stretching through the motion. And immediately reverse. Take it up, palms facing in, lifting from the tricep. And when I can't go any further, flip the palm up and reach up overhead, palm flips in and come down and reach to the back, and one more time across the front, up and reach to the back, big circle all the way around. This whole time I'm holding on to my rib cages with the other hand, prevent my torso from rotating to the back because I want to isolate just the shoulders. And back, and one more time to each side. Up, flip, and reach. And I'm moving nice and slowly and deliberately, stretching through the entire range of motion. And other side. Arm across, lift, up, up, up. Once I reach the point at which I can't go any further, I flip my palm and reach to the back. Reach, reach, reach. And come down, reverse back. And once I get stuck, turn the palm out and come up, palm face in, and come down. And again, reach up, 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 palm face back, and reach, 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 and up, and really reach. Keep the shoulder down, away from the ears. One more time. Reach across and back, and then back and up and over. Okay, now I move my elbow joint. I'm holding my elbow in front with the inside of my arm facing toward the screen. I'm just putting a finger there just to remind me to keep the inside facing up. I'm going to bring my palm up, palm to shoulder, flip from the elbow, palm down and press down. And take that arm back up with the palm facing out and flip, palm face in and press out. So the rotation is happening at the elbow joint and the rest of the arm is not moving. Down, and actively I'm contracting my muscles, creating tension when I go up and when I go down. And one more. And down. Other side. Palm faces up and press into my shoulder. Then flip and press away. And bring it up, palm facing out. And flip and press away with the back of the hand. Again, bring it up. So I'm going nice and slow. You can actually even go slower than this, making sure to create your internal tension. Biceps, shoulders, forearms. Good. Flip. Last time. Now the wrist. I'm going to hold on to my wrist with the inside of my wrist facing up the whole time, as if I have a watch that I'm wearing on the inside of my wrist. I want to be able to see it the whole time. Now I'm going to flip my palm up as though I'm looking at a mirror, and then flip it down like I'm pushing something away. Up and down. And up and down. And if your wrist can't bend 90 degrees, that's okay, just take it to wherever it can go. Now I'm going to rotate all the way around and around, keeping my palm open, around, and reverse, around, and around, keeping the rest of the arms still. Inside of the wrist is facing up the whole time. Other side. Flip up and flip away. And up and press away. Up and press away and rotate. Rotate. The hand sweeps across the front and reverse, drawing a circle shape. And one more time. Okay, shake that out. Next, I like to do my thoracic rotations. I cross my arms across my chest, holding onto my shoulders so that I hold my torso still. I'm standing a little wider than shoulder width apart with my knees bent, so I'm nice and stable. I'm going to inhale and exhale partway, bracing my core. I'm engaging all throughout my core. My transverse abdominis is engaged to keep stability. I'm going to draw my chin to my chest and roll down the upper back, rounding out the upper back, and then rotate the torso over to one side. So I'm looking down the side of my leg, and then rotate the torso open so I'm in a side bend, and take my torso around to the back, lifting from the crown of the head. Avoid bending down like this, but lifting to high diagonal over to the other side into a side bend, and then rotate so you're looking down the side of your leg and come back to center. And immediately I go the other way. Rotate to the side, looking down, and rotate the torso. I'm in a side bend, lifting the crown of the head up through the back, rotate over to the other side, side bend, and rotate looking down, and back to center. And again, over to one side, looking down, and then rotate the torso looking to the screen, and take the torso all the way around to the back, over to the side, and rotate looking down, and to center, and reverse that direction, look over down the side of the leg, rotate the chest face forward, lifting from the crown of the head, rotate to the back, and look down, and come on down, and slowly roll up. I like to do this with weights, or if you have weights at your home, or a kettlebell, or any kind of heavy object that is safe to hold, you can hold it across your chest. When I have weights, I like to just cross it nice and snug, and I hug it to my chest, and I do my rotations here. Same thing, rotating round to the back and actively lifting up through the back, over and forward. The weights help to give me extra resistance, so extra weight, so it helps me to build stronger back muscles. And this is because I'm working toward stronger back bends, and that requires a lot of strength to be able to do that in the core, in the back, as well as hips and the whole body actually. So this is partly what I do to train for that. Next, I'm just going to warm up my hips. I'm just simply doing a slide out to one side, slide out to the other, keeping my legs about shoulder width apart and soft. Nice flat slides and slides, and bring to the front and slide to the front and slide to the back. When I bring to the back, I'm being careful not to tilt my tailbone up. Actively press the tailbone down so my back is nice and flat, so I get a stretch in the lower back. And when I bring my hips to the front, I'm engaging my core, making sure not to let my tailbone arch up again. So I'm bending my knees and using my quads and my core to support me. Slide to the back and slide to the front. Back and front and back and front. Now I take this into a big circle, slide out to the side, back, side, front, side, back, side, front. I'm just going for range of motion here, keeping my hips as flat and as possible, as horizontal as possible, and then reverse. Slide to the side. When I bring my legs to the back, my legs straighten, and slide out to the other side, and the knees bend to the front. Side, back, side, front, and side, back, side, and front. And come up. Next, I do my standing hip openers. So I take one leg up, and see if we can rotate from the hip. So I take the leg in, the shin in, and take that leg all the way around, keeping my hips flat to the back, and bring it down. And reverse, take it to the back, up. Trying not to hike my hip up, and take it to the front and down. Move again, up. Nice and slow, so hold on. Feel free to hold on to something. One more time. Other side. The knee up, turn the leg in, and then let's take it all the way around, turning the leg out and around to the back, up, all the way around, and again. Nice and slow. Try to go for the largest range of motion you can that's not painful. So if it's painful, definitely ease out of it, make the range of motion smaller. One more time. Let's go down to the floor for the next set of exercises. Next, I'll be working on my back mobility and spinal segmentation. So I start out in all fours and I do the regular cat-cow. So I'm going to drop my belly and lift the chest, arch the back, and then round the spine, press my upper back toward the ceiling, tucking the tailbone under. Inhale, drop down, drop the shoulders, and exhale, press the back. One more time, inhale, and exhale. Now I'm going to start dropping just from the tailbone, so just the tailbone without moving the upper back, slowly going into the cat, sequentially rolling up from the tailbone. Look up, and then the tailbone rotates down. So I'm trying to create a wave in my spine, starting from the tailbone. Going down. This is the last thing to move. And again. Now this one's a little harder for me. I'm going to start out with my upper back, my head. And then lifting the head, dropping the upper back without moving the lower back. And release eventually. And starting from the head, lifting the upper back and middle back. And then lower back. And then lift the chin and drop the upper back. And then middle back. and lower back. And come back to neutral. Next, I'm going to be working on my back extension. So coming all the way down to the ground, bring my arms down by my side, palms facing down, legs about hip distance apart, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the abdominals, protecting lower back, gazing straight down. I'm going to inhale, float the chest up off the ground, float the arms, reach the fingers behind, and exhale, slowly lower down. Inhale, lift. Think about the crown of the head reaching further away. So you're reaching up and away. And then slowly lower down. As I lower down, I'm imagining I'm placing the head a little further away on the mat from the rest of the body each time. Inhale, lift and grow longer in the spine. Draw the shoulders down, fingers facing the back, fingers reaching toward the back. And exhale, lower down. And hands under the shoulders, I press myself back, my hips back to my heels to round out the spine and counter stretch. I'm going to be continuing on with my hip openers, but now in a kneeling position on all four. I'm going to make sure that my hands are right underneath my shoulders, the knees are right underneath my hips. Back is nice and straight, core engaged, abdominals drawn in. Weight is evenly distributed between my right and left side. I'm going to take one knee to the chest, open it out, lifting, using my glutes to lift. Take the leg to the back and around, lifting and down. And then reverse back, around, taking it high up through the center and back in front. Making sure that I'm not leaning too much away from my working leg. My weight is evenly distributed between my right and left side. Keeping the gaze straight down on the ground between your hands. One more time. And switch over to the other side. Knee in, open, around to the back, and down, and back, around. Nice and slow. Get going for your biggest pain-free range of motion. Actively drawing the abdominals in, core is stable, back is flat. One more time. Okay. Now we're going to warm up the knee joints. I'm going to work with one leg at a time. I'm going to start out with one leg, flexing the foot, holding on to my thigh. Going to rotate, just rotate my tibia, my shin bone from side to side, making sure I have range of motion in my knee joint here. So imagining I have a dot on my ankle and a dot on right below my knee where the bony protrusion of the tibia is. And they're moving together in one line. So I'm not just moving my ankle around, I'm actually moving my entire shin bone. So this is the rotation I want. Now I'm going to rotate my shin bone in, press out, and then rotate out and draw back in. And then keep it rotate, shin bone rotated out, press out, and rotate in, and draw back in. It's almost like I'm drawing an oval shape. Good, so not letting my leg fully extend out because then I wouldn't be able to rotate my tibia. Just rotate, extend out a little bit, keep a bend, and then rotate in and draw it in. I can also hook my arm around my thigh and lift, hold on to my opposite arm, and take the opposite arm hand across my knee. So this helps me to keep my thigh in place as I rotate my shin bone. So that I'm really making sure that I'm not rotating from the hip joints, but from the knee. One more time. I also get a nice stretch in the glutes and hamstrings. Let's do the other side. First, identify the point on the ankle and on the shin bone on the tibia, and just rotate, making sure the knee joint is moving, so that I can rotate my shin bone independently of my femur, my thigh. Okay. And now rotate out, extend, rotate in, and come back in. And keep it rotated in, extend out, rotate, and come back in. And press, actively press, create internal tension. Draw it in. One more time. And draw it. And again, I can lock my arm around and bring my thigh to my chest and do my rotations this way. Now I'm going to warm up my ankles. Going to press forward, circle around, and in. And immediately rotate the other way, drawing a big circle with my ankles. Around and in. And around and in. And around one more time in each direction. Next, I'm going to be moving my patella. It's a little bit weird, but it's actually essential for your knee health to have your patella be able to move. So I'm just gently taking my kneecap here and just shifting from up and down, just very gently, don't want to force anything. And then from side to side a little bit, just relaxing the rest of the leg, and take the patella in a little circle if you can, and then circle the other way. Last things are the toes, and I stand up for this. I take my feet flat down on the ground and I lift my toes. I actively lift my toes up off of the ground. And then I press my big toe down and up. Big toe down and up. Just the big toe. And down. And the little toes. And up. Keeping the big toes where they are. Press and down. And press and down. And I alternate big toe and little toe. Big toe and little toes. And now try to draw a wave, sequentially lifting from the outside and inside. Press and press. And the other way. That's a lot harder for me. Other way in. And in. Okay, and shake things out. Okay, now ready to get started with the training.